Hello one and all and welcome back to another episode of the Wellsy Weekly Podcast. You're listening to episode 36 and hope you're all well. I am personally feeling a little tired today. I haven't been sleeping very well. I've still got a bit of a sore throat. I'm trying to soothe that with a nice hot cup of tea in my hand right here. But yeah, I've also been not sleeping very well, and I can tell because I've been dreaming an awful lot, and I don't usually remember my dreams. I mean, we always dream. People are always dreaming. But it's the fact that you can actually remember them that is probably not the best sleeping pattern. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, dreaming, how we dream, why we dream, and the meanings behind them. But before I get into all of that, I want to tell you that the question for this week is, what did you last dream about? Is it just like something scary? Was it something nice? Was it just plain weird? Let me know down below in the comments, or if you've come from my Facebook page, put a comment on there as well. So, let's begin with the textbook stuff. I went online and I did a little bit of a research onto what a dream is and how to put that into words. And Google and Dictionary basically said that it's a collection of thoughts and ideas and emotions that all combine into one when we're in the stages of sleeping. And I guess this makes sense because a lot of the time when you do remember a dream, it is something that you can physically see or physically remember. It also gives an emotion, usually, kind of like memories and stuff like that. So if you remember something from your childhood, you get a certain emotion, you get a certain feeling, and you also get a certain image in your head. Now, it might be skewed because you've remembered it slightly differently, but it's the same thing nonetheless. Now, almost everybody dreams every single night, but a lot of us don't remember it, and if you do, it is known as something called a vivid dream. I couldn't find out why we don't remember them every single night. Unfortunately, there was not much research on that, but I did know that when you do remember it, it is called a vivid dream. And there are many things that can trigger this kind of thing. I looked up, so pregnancy is a big one. I mean, I'm not personally pregnant, so I don't think that's triggering mine. But no, changes in hormones and stuff like that when you are having a baby and stuff. Maybe if you're worried about having a baby, or a child or anything like that, that can change your hormones and then that can affect your sleeping pattern, which will cause a vivid dream. Stress or traumatic events can also be a trigger for dreams. So if your mind is overthinking things, your subconscious basically releases it in the form of a dream. It's a way of coping or processing information without us actually realizing it, which is kind of cool, to be fair. I mean, not the stress part or the traumatic event part, but the way of just like being able to cope with it naturally. Now, another trigger that can cause dreams is alcohol, but it doesn't do it in the way that you think. So, when you drink alcohol, it actually stops your REM cycle or your rapid eye movement cycle, and that's where dreams usually take place. But alcohol actually inhibits that, and then once it's out your system, it actually creates more wild and more vivid dreams. And I guess the reason for this is because you haven't been able to sleep or you haven't been able to dream properly in the normal way. So to compensate for that, your brain essentially just like heightens it or like doubles the intensity of a dream. Now, I don't think this is always the case because I've been drinking a lot and I've drank a lot in my time and I've never had dreams after, alcohol or like on a night out. I mean, I've remembered stuff that was pretty weird, but it turns out that was just me on a drunken night and it was just pretty wild, so no dreams have been affected by, alcohol consumption, for me personally anyway. And the final trigger that I found that can cause dreams and vivid dreams is a lack of sleep. Yes, a lack of sleep. So we need sleep as human beings, otherwise it can lead to a lot of weird things. The body and the mind can start doing really funny things. It can lead to possible psychotic breakdowns and stuff. There can be lots of hallucinations. And, we need to sleep. I mean, I like sleeping, so that's absolutely fine. But yeah, when you don't sleep well, this is kind of a push into the more intense kind of dreams. Like I said earlier with stress and stuff. I think it's just a way for the body to start coping with ideas in your head and thoughts subconsciously, and ones that you know about and ones that are like rooted deep into your head but you don't really think about 24/7. And I guess we can kind of like look at dreams as a pool of water. I got this from a meditation thing because I meditate on a night, and so basically dreams and the mind are kind of like a pool of water, and when everything is calm, it's still, the water is smooth and safe. But when you like got thoughts and anxiety and like got worries, that creates ripples in the water. So things are a bit unclear, and I guess that's why dreams are a bit unclear usually. I mean, there's some cases where it's just like very clear what's going on, but a lot of the time we don't really know why we're dreaming or what we're dreaming about, or we don't know the meanings behind that. And I'm going to go a little further into the meanings of dreams. But before we do that, I'll remind you that the question of the week is, what is the last thing that you dreamed about? Was it, going into space? Was it flying? Was it just something a bit more scary if you've had a nightmare or anything like that? Let me know down below in the comments, it'd be much appreciated. So, getting back to the topic at hand, dreams mean something, or at least I think they mean something anyway. And there's a lot of studies to see what dreams mean, and it's called dream interpretation. There's lots of books and videos, and there's too much to go into in this one podcast. And there's a lot of debate between people whether they actually mean anything or if they're just electrical impulses in the brain. Now, you can question that a lot because everything's just an electrical impulse in the brain, but we still have, thoughts, memories, emotions. That isn't just made up. And I guess dreams aren't made up either, they're just a little more blurry. And people have been trying to figure out what dreams mean for years. Like if you think back to old societies like ancient Egypt, that kind of stuff, a lot of them believed that it was trying to tell them something, that was a sign from God, or it was some supernatural curse or something like that. I mean, obviously that's not the case, but they thought that back in those days. And my personal opinion is that dreams do mean something, but I think they only mean something to the individual, really. It's like, it's your mind, it's your thoughts, so of course they're going to be related to you and no one else. Now, that being said, there are some similarities. People have similar thoughts, ideas and that kind of stuff. So I guess we can interpret, if they have the same or similar dreams, I guess we can interpret that as meaning something. And I've come up with a few ideas, or I've done a little bit of research of what some dreams actually mean, or what some things within dreams mean. Now, one common dream that people seem to have is being chased, and this is a suggestion that they're trying to run away from something in the real world that needs attention. And this can appear as something as crazy as a clown or a purple dinosaur. I mean, if you're being chased by a purple dinosaur, might want to get that checked out. But yeah, it's a common dream, and I guess a lot of people can feel like that, so I guess it makes sense. Now, another common dream, a very common dream, is the ability to fly within said dream. And this can mean basically freedom or escape, so maybe you've had a job that's been getting you down for years and you've just finally left it, or you've passed that test that you were really worried about. Or in my case, I remember I used to work at KFC, and it was getting me down. It was very, how to describe the job? It was very depressing. I was in a bit of a bad state. But when I left, I remember actually having a dream, and I did fly in the dream. So I guess it makes sense, and I guess it's proven that this kind of, interpretation is in fact real. Well, in my case anyway, it could mean something different for you. And the last type of common dream is dreams of people dying, or, you personally dying within a dream. Now, this can be a sign of something changing in the real world or your personal life. And I think your brain's just trying to process that in your head. Now, I personally don't agree with this interpretation. I think it's a bit more, I don't know, a little far-fetched, the connection between them. I mean, I can see where they're coming from, don't get me wrong. But if somebody's dying in a dream, that means there is something changing, yes, absolutely. But I think it'd be a bit more subtle within the dream world. I do remember this one dream though, and it wasn't very subtle at all. So I was being chased, and all of a sudden I just opened this door and there was a toilet there, and then when I woke up I needed the loo. So that wasn't subtle at all. But yeah, I guess it depends on the situation, I guess. So that's just a few interpretations that I found, or common dreams that people interpret as. There's plenty more. Obviously go online, there's loads more research. But yeah, this is quite interesting, I think, dreams and stuff, and how we dream and why we dream. I'm quite fascinated by all this stuff, and I hope you are too. But I think that's going to leave it for today's episode. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll remind you that the question of the week is, what is the last thing you dreamed about? Was it something like flying, or somebody passing away in your dream? Or was it a bit more nice or crazy? Like, I don't know, like a killer bunny rabbit or something like that. If you want to share your answers, let me know down below in the comments, or if you've come from my Facebook page, put something on there as well. But anyway guys, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed, and as always, enjoy a cuppa.